a gentleman that used to work at ESPN that now works at Fox. His name is Chris Carter. Chris Carter is one of, if not the best NFL analyst on television in the business. He's that special. He is also somebody that I've known for the better part of the last 15 years or so. I go back years with his brother, Butch Carter, who's a former coach of the year for the Toronto Raptors, by the way. Chris Carter is not my friend. Chris Carter is my brother. I love him, and I have no doubt he loves me back. We're that tight. That doesn't mean we always agree. It doesn't mean our thinking is always aligned. And if you know anything about Chris, and I use him as an example here, is because obviously he had addiction issues in the past. And if you go to his Twitter account, Chris Carter 80, you'll see him talking about it. Talking about how addicts lie, addicts manipulate, addicts disappoint, all of those different things. Talking about how football is not the priority. Josh Gordon's life is the priority. Talk about the frustration that emanates from folks that don't quite grasp or understand. Do you think these guys want to lie? Do you think they want to disappoint? Do you think they want to come to work late or not at all? Do you think they want to continuously hurt their family and loved ones? When you're an addict, it can't be helped. You need help. But until you receive that kind of help, it's difficult. He's right. He would know. I'm not disagreeing with anybody that brings up that point. But, it's interesting because those friends, those colleagues, people that work at ESPN and beyond, most of whom talk about me behind my damn back. Let me tell y'all something. This goes to my family members, too. Friends. I came across as a bit insensitive yesterday to some people. If you're expecting me to apologize, you will be waiting a long time. I will not. I have my own experiences with addiction. I have my own experience with loved ones. Watching my family get ravaged by addiction. It is entirely possible and likely for us to see the same thing, have the same mountain of evidence, and feel passionately opposite one another. And if I have one problem, particularly with this industry, that means ESPN too. That means Fox, that means NBC, that means CBS, that means the industry. If I have one problem above all else, if you don't agree with people, you must not understand. If you don't agree with people, you don't comprehend. If you don't agree with people, you just cruel. No, we disagree, damn it. We disagree. Period. You don't think when I see or witness a Chris Carter talking passionately about this issue, it doesn't move me as much as I love that brother? Or some of my friends who will remain nameless, who's had addiction problems? I grew up in the streets of New York City, surrounded by drugs, surrounded by alcohol, surrounded by violence, every day. I've seen my mother pushed into the grave because of having to fend off the powers that addiction has over certain people because of her willingness to try and help. I've seen sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles having to battle it, suffering, ravaged because of it. My position, no matter how much it might appall you all out there, isn't because of a lack of understanding. It's because I feel how I feel, fully understanding it. You might have heart for the addict. I respect that. I might have more heart for those who suffer at the hands of addicts. Now, you could debate the right and wrong of it, but don't question the understanding. Question tolerance. Sure, that's fair. But ain't no lack of understanding this way. I feel how I feel. I wish nothing but the best for Josh Gordon. I was upset because part of it was him ruining his life, and I wanted so much better for him. Don't root against him. I wouldn't root against anybody in that situation. But if you mess up time and time again, at some point in time, it's possible that my sensitivity for you may transfer to my sensitivity towards someone who is suffering at your hands because of your addiction. That does not mean one lacks understanding. It does not mean one lacks compassion. It just might mean fatigue kicks in for somebody who repeatedly succumbs to the power of addiction over and over again. And that sympathy and that sensitivity gets transferred to somebody who's not suffering from an addiction, but is suffering nevertheless to some degree because of their love and compassion for the one who's plagued by the addiction. Think about that before you come at me again. And no, I will not back up on this issue. I don't give a damn what anybody says.